right, so I guess we can move on to the next big story, and this is kind of a follow-up from a previous story. So last week, WWE confirmed that there was going to be no WWE 2K game. So this one would have been 2K21. Today, 2K Games revealed, and today as of this story being released, 2K Games revealed why that is, and we also took the opportunity to announce a new WWE game called WWE 2K Battle Grounds, which is basically an arcade-style brawler. And they released a statement. They said, "We are applying what we've learned to the next WWE 2K simulation with a renewed focus on quality and fun," 2K says in a press release. "As a part of that commitment, we are extending the production timeline and will not be releasing a WWE 2K simulation game in fiscal year 2021. So there's a lot to unpack there. But basically, to sum it all up, they're saying, listen, there's not going to be a 2021 game, but we're going to put a lot of our focus onto the 2022 game to make sure it doesn't fall short like 2K20 did. And then also they announced 2K Battle Grounds, which again is a campier, more fun arcade-style game, which they've done something like this before with the All-Stars game. And it looks kind of like their version of like when they did the NBA Playgrounds games, which was kind of like an NBA Jam arcade fun style game, which I think for a contingent of the audience is an awesome thing to do. I don't know how it plays in the broader ecosystem, if this will be okay in place of a 2K21 game. I don't know. This is not my forte. I don't really play these games. But I think them delivering something a little different is pretty awesome. It looked weird to me. Like, the art style was really weird to me. It's not something I'm particularly that interested in, but I'm not going to crap all over it because I think for some people, this is going to be an awesome thing for them, and I don't want to crap over experience that might be fun for a contingent of people. What do you think about this? Is this something you're interested in?
So like we said last week, I really don't play the WWE games anymore. This is something we all pretty much guessed, that there was no going to be WWE 2K21. That they were going to kind of push all the resources to next year, so it'd be 2K22 will be the real big comeback. And I guessed, like I said, that there'd be an arcadey kind of spin-off, and that's weird that almost exactly like I get. It's funny because what I pictured in my head is with this like kind of big head, doofy looking wrestlers. And as soon as I saw, I think it was like The Rock and John Cena, and someone gets thrown into an alligator, and the alligator like bites and shakes them. This game is not for me. I have no intention on playing it. But I think if it's priced properly and it's kind of there for fun nonsense, I think it's okay. It's not going to be the placeholder, obviously, because these WWE 2K sims are like sports games where there's people like that's the game they buy every year. They like making their character, running through all the story and whatever you need to do. But I think it's wise of them to accept that, like, listen, the developer that was making our games is no longer with us. We got this new team who wasn't ready to take on a project this size. They released a very lackluster game. You guys hated it. It was practically broken. I mean, we all remember seeing those glitches. Yeah, for sure. I don't think I've ever seen a game that broken. And they're like, listen, we don't want that again. So we're going to take a year off. Here's a small little snack, which is the Battlegrounds. And then we'll come back, hopefully, stronger, swinging with a really good wrestling simulator game. So it's good news. It's good news for the most aspect, unless for people who were like dying for another WWE game this year, in the aspect of the ones that have been coming. I guess it's sad for them because they're not getting it. I also don't think they were probably on the edge of their seat because they were so disappointed. They're probably more excited. They're like, we're going to take another year to really polish this game, to make the graphics look way better, and it'll also be releasing on the new hardware. So by this time, by the time that releases, PS5s and Xbox Series will be in the wild, be easier to get. You can maybe start doing some bundles, and it just looks better for them in every aspect.
Yeah, no game I think has ever been hurt from more time to develop for. And when you have like a mainline series like this, you got to get it right. There's too much banking on it in terms of financial. There's too much attached to that name for you guys to botch it up. And especially with a new team, I don't think that team's going anywhere. So you guys better figure it out, and you better figure it out fast. Because if this is what you guys are going to be working on, you only get so many chances to mess it up before your bottom line is really impacted. Not to mention the original team who used to develop it, they're working on their own game. And people are paying attention to that game. And if that game comes out and really hits, that can be pretty rough for the 2K franchise. So I think take your time, release 2K22 or whatever, or 2K21. Make sure that really hits, and hopefully we can have a good experience with that. But again, I'm speaking from a person who doesn't really play these games. Who knows? That arcade game, Battlegrounds, could be a fun game. It could be a high frame rate, fun game, a million different wrestlers. It could be fun in the same way that you have fun with maybe a Lego type game, where you don't take it too seriously. It's kind of just like a whatever experience you could imagine, you could do it in there. You want to play as any wrestler from any era, you can do that. Who knows? And so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in that one, because I think if they're pretty big teams working on these games, if they put their resources towards an arcade game, they might be able to, release something pretty fun. And I just am not going to let obtuse art style necessarily dissuade me from thinking it's going to do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like we said, NBA Jams, Playgrounds, those games are fun because people go in expecting, crazy dunks from crazy sides of the courts and all these kind of radical things and out of the ordinary things. So, and it's funny because WWE, which with their characters and the music and the entrances and costumes, fits that universe. So, yeah. I think if you go extra, then that's better. If you, like you said, give me a huge cast of old wrestlers, then you're hitting me with my nostalgic feels, and I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, let me guide this game just so I can throw things all over. Throw people into canyons and stuff like that.
Yeah, not to mention some of my favorite sports games of all time are not like the hardcore Sims. You mentioned already NBA Jam, and I'm also thinking games like Mario Strikers and stuff like that, which are not like pure sports Sims, but were really fun. There was like a Sega tennis game that I really enjoyed too as well.
Yeah.
So again, I think this is kind of tapping into a different fan base in many ways. And I think in many ways, if they market this right, and for example, if this has a good Switch presence, I think this could have more mainstream success than the regular sim games, as just kind of like a fun party game where it's like, oh, hey, if you want to play as Kane from the 90s and punch John Cena in the face while Goldberg jumps off the ceiling, I think they can maybe deliver on that, and that could be a real fun experience. So I'm gonna give it a chance, if anything.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on it, because you never know when you find a game extra fun.